Hey button pushers, welcome back to A Normal Lost Phone. It's time to cast the controller on over once again. Last time we got into the apps and found out, confirmed, that Sam is a trans woman. Her name is Samira. And she has been out to the board game club that she's been going to for ages. Well, not out. Correction. Rephrasing. She's been presenting as a woman when she goes to the board game club, and she was discovered to be trans by Lola, and that is why she hasn't been going to the board game club. She's been talking with a gentleman named Phil through the Love app, and we got a link to a website through there as well, where we're going to find Samira's photo and send it in that draft. But I did realize something else. The reason why Sam could never introduce her girlfriend Melissa to her best friend Alice is she said she met Alice through the board game group. Well, Melissa knows Sam as Sam, the boy, I guess. I don't like that phrasing. And Alice, until recently, I assume, because we found the date with the email when Alice was confessed to about Samira being trans, Alice knew Sam as Samira. So the reason that those two could never meet was because they technically knew two different people. And Sam couldn't bring them both to one spot without telling both of them who she was. And the fact that Melissa was so distrusting is probably because Sam was hiding a secret, which is that Sam is trans. Not to say that Melissa is justified, but it just got complicated very quickly. Okay, so that's that. We need to go into Lovebirds again. Nope. And find the website, make sure things are... Okay. Again, I gotta make sure it's recording. I've lost recordings before, it kills me inside. Be you. Sand thing. Board rules. I guess we're gonna read all of this, aren't we? Form is 2 parts, one public and VIP. Upon registration, everyone has access to the public part. The music is a little loud. Browser. 2 parts. Feel free to talk about any topic but use it anonymously. Do not give personal information like your real name, home address, place of work, school, or private data. For that, we've got the VIP section. The VIP section is the place where you can talk about yourselves using your name or not. You can upload photos of yourself, exchange telephone numbers, arrange meetings in person, etc. To access this part, you need a personal invitation from someone who is already there. We try to keep this system strict in order to filter out trolls and hateful people. Thank you for your understanding. Very cool. Introductions. Dear God. Every time I think I'm almost done, there's several more things to read. I'd have been through this like this if I wasn't reading out loud for y'all. Let me try that again. There we go. I wanted a satisfying snap, god damn it. This part is for introductions. Tell me a bit about yourself. Make sure you stay anonymous. That's what the VIP section is for. Okay, I'll start off by introducing myself and hope it encourages the rest of you to do it too. I'm Tessie Star, I'm 22, and I'm a trans woman who's been using hormones for 3 years. For me, the fact that I'm a woman has always been obvious. Even when I was small, I already wanted to play with dolls and use my mom's makeup. I had always made her laugh. I should probably mention that I'm the youngest in a family of 4 children, and she's only had boys, so she was happy I was interested in the same things as her. I was also lucky enough to grow up in a really open, understanding town, and to have a trans aunt who came out way before me and was accepted by everyone in my family. It can be nice to have someone there to pave the way. My cousin, I've mentioned her earlier. When I was a teenager, when I was a preteen, I was told she was bisexual, and she definitely was with girls. But I've never personally had her tell me what she is. But at the same time, just knowing that that was an option and that my family didn't like immediately kick her out or hate her or anything was important later for me. I don't know how much I just cut out, so sorry if it's choppy, but the point I was trying to make is that when you've seen how your family treats someone else who's outside the norm, so to speak, not typical. I don't like any of these phrases, but when you see how someone treats it in your family, it can really help. Whether it teaches you to hide it or whether it teaches you can come out, it helps to have a baseline to know how they're going to act. Reading around online, I realized that while coming out for me would be very easy, it wasn't the same for everyone. I was shocked when I saw some statistics, for example, the much higher attempted suicide rate among trans people. That's what motivated me to found this forum. I told myself there are probably other young people around me who might need a support, a place to talk, but who couldn't bring themselves to visit an LGBT center in their town and prefer the anonymity of the internet. Sam thing. And this was just over a year ago. Just under a year ago, rather. Hello, I'm Sam Thing. I'm 17. I don't really know what I am, and I'm feeling kind of lost at the moment. Let me explain a bit. I come from a town that's not very open. It's quite conservative, really. And I've never met anyone that's openly gay, let alone trans. I didn't even know the word trans for ages until I found it online. I've always thought of myself as a guy, even though I always hated traditionally masculine activities. My cousin, for example, always makes fun of me because I never keep up with sports news, as Tio was doing with the race. Because of that, I've always gotten on better with girls. They tend to treat me like a girlfriend, telling me all their secrets, and I really like that they treat me like that. My cousin also makes fun of me because I enjoy playing the harp. Yep, you read that right. I'm a boy and I play the harp. I've loved it Sam. No. I've loved it ever since I was little. Of course, I'm the only boy at my music school who plays the harp. Hi, I'm H Says So, and I'm a 23-year-old trans guy. I volunteer a lot at the LGBT center in my town. It's a tiny center because I come from a quite old-fashioned town where it's not exactly well-regarded to be part of the LGBT community. We don't get any funding from the town, so we have to get by with what we have. Same thing. You seem quite confused. You know, just playing the harp and not enjoying sports don't mean you're not a guy. It's society that tries to make us believe that girls like this and boys should like that, but you're free to like what you want and who you want to, of course. I agree with H Says So, but I admit I wasn't completely honest in my first post. I left out some of the story. Last June, there was a concert at my school just before summer vacation. It was super important to me. It was also my last year in the music school because I was about to get my diploma. So, an important concert requiring a certain outfit. We all had identical outfits because all the harpists play together. We had to reuse the same stage costumes that had been used for another school concert several years before, but they only had costumes for girls. So we had to get one made for me as soon as possible, except that while we were waiting for it, I joked and I said I could play in one of the girl costumes. Of course, the school said no, but harpist friend, who I'll call V, lent me her concert dress just for fun. I tried it on, and I don't really know what happened. I might have been just trying it on for a joke, but when I looked at myself in the mirror, something clicked. Oh, Sam. I can't really say it felt good, more that I felt really confused. Then V said, "Hey, miss, you look really pretty." I know she said that to make me laugh, but right at that moment I felt happy? Yeah, I was happy she said that. A sudden intense happiness that suddenly vanished as soon as I realized what it might mean. Anyway, I know that it made me a bit sad when my boy's costume arrived, and I was disappointed that I had to wear it for the concert. I don't know where I am. I feel like I don't know who I am anymore. I want to try dressing as a woman again, but I daren't. So, what Sam described, for those of you who don't know, I don't know how many people who watch this are going to know and aren't. I know most of my friends that will watch this because they like me. They'll understand. But if I somehow get an audience, or in the future I have an audience that don't know, part of what Sam described there, the sudden rush of happiness, is considered what's called gender euphoria. And it's when the gender you are is validated. And by gender you are, of course, I mean for trans people, it's the in this case, for Sam, it's the gender of being a woman. Hey, pretty miss. And then suddenly it feels right. I can't talk a lot on the subject because I'm not, as far as I can tell, trans. I'm 98% certain I'm cis, so the fact that it's in question is because I've had some experiences outside the norm of the traditional feminine range, but that, again, like that one person said, that doesn't mean I'm not a female. So I'm just going to assume I'm cis for now, and we'll check this space if that changes, I guess. And I'm really glad that Sam got some of that. But what they were talking about, how it crashed right after when they realized what that means, my heart's breaking for them. Because even though Sam is a fictional character, there are tons of people who are living this story. Hello, I'm Cupcake Captain, and I identify as non-binary. They actually mentioned it! I was giving up hope, because they mentioned trans and the thing. They actually mentioned non-binary. This is important to me. It's really important to me about non-binary, because several of the people I care a lot about are non-binary. I'm not going to tell you my age, because that's just not something you ask a young non-binary person. Same thing. Oh! They're saying it. I think what you felt when you tried on your friend's dress is what we call gender euphoria. Don't confuse it with gender dysphoria. To put simply, it's when you feel good things. I keep burping. I apologize. It's when you feel good doing things that aren't attributed to the gender you were given at birth. I wasn't aware it was specifically to that, but that does make sense. I like their description better because they probably researched it, whereas I know things via osmosis. It doesn't necessarily mean you're a trans woman. Anyway, it's up to you to define yourself and see what makes you happy. And if you want to dress up again, go for it. Just see where it takes you. Maybe you'll decide you don't like it. Maybe you'll love it, and maybe you'll love it and you'll never want to dress as a boy again. Maybe you'll feel somewhere in between. Your life lies ahead of you. Grab it by the horns and enjoy it. Thanks for the great advice, Captain Cupcake. It's a real help. I made the most of my parents being out to try on my mom's clothes and makeup just to see what happened. And I have to admit, it felt good. So this is in September. Okay, so I'm not exactly a stunner, but I've got something. I should mention that I'm pretty androgynous anyway, so I think I could pass. I really want to go out and meet people, see if they perceive me as a girl, but I don't dare. Chloe Nito, at your service. I am a 19-year-old trans woman. Everyone around me knows and more or less accepts it. While my parents haven't kicked me out, I do often get rude comments, but nothing I can't live with. Same thing, if you want to go out in the street and see if people perceive you as a girl, here's some advice. Use a well-padded push-up bra. If you don't have long hair, wear a wig. Don't wear makeup, wear nail polish. Don't just wear makeup, wear nail polish and jewelry too. Don't wear too much makeup. You don't want to look like a paint pot. Don't use just makeup for your eyes and mouth. You can also use different foundations. Men and women's faces are quite different shapes. The idea is to play with light and shadow to make your face look more feminine. There's loads of tutorials online. Try to make your voice higher. Nothing betrays you more than a deep voice. And last but not least, don't try to go see people who know you as a man when you go out for the first time. Yeah. Wow, Chloe, thanks for the advice. I tried to go out today for the first time dressed as a girl. I just wanted to go out of the house and go to a bakery where I don't normally go, but my legs were shaking so much I couldn't even leave my room. It's no biggie. I'm not gonna let that stop me. There's a sci-fi convention in my town soon, and thinking that that might be the best time to try again. Worst case scenario, if people give me weird looks, I can always say that I'm dressed up as some sci-fi character. That's a great idea. That kind of place doesn't normally ask for ID to sign That kind of place doesn't normally ask for any ID to sign up, so you won't even need to show them any documents that say you're a guy. Oh, I didn't even think about that. I wonder if there's anything else I haven't thought about. I'm too scared. Stay strong. We're all with you. You still want to do it? Yes, I've even ordered a wig online. Then do it and tell us how it goes afterwards. Okay, so I just got back from the convention. It was great. No one gave me weird looks or said anything to me at all. And you won't believe it, but I even signed up to a board game club that had a stand there. And I used a girl's name, too. And this is how it starts. That's great. Well done. It's really encouraging to read that. Would you prefer that we use female pronouns now, or do you want to keep that for when you're with the board game people? Nope, let's go for female pronouns here, too. I know I can trust you all anyway. Yay! Hedy Boss. So this is actually recent. Help, I know this has nothing to do with the thread, but I'm Hedy Boss 17, but I forgot to make the password to my account, so I've had to make a new one. But my Hedy Boss 17 account had access to the VIP sections forum, so I'd really, really, really like to recover my password. I already got it wrong twice, I don't want the account to be deleted. Tessie Star, okay, already, please stop posting in every thread. You're flooding the forum. I'm going to answer here and everyone else you posted so everyone can see my plan, not worry. If you get your password wrong, your account won't be deleted. You'll just get an automatically generated new password that'll be sent to your email. So we're probably going to need to do that in order to get into the VIP section. So I did notice that I've hit 16 minutes and I could stop here. How long is this one? Kind of long. We're going to read this one and call the episode. I'm making the episodes a little bit longer. I was making them 15 minutes because I thought this would be a shorter game based on how long to beat. But I'm realizing that that's people who can read these in their head. And I'm reading it out loud. I'm going on tangents. I'm making points. I'm gonna make the episodes a little bit longer. This is the rant area where you can vent about all the people who messed up your day. Someone misgendered you, you can't stay in your family. Someone said something nasty in the street. Whatever it is, if you want to talk about it, this is the place. There's just one rule. Don't comment on someone's post with something like, but you should have said / done blah. It's already unpleasant to live with the bad stuff that can happen in our daily lives, and if we can avoid reminding people how they could have responded better, that would be great. Very important. Sometimes people want comfort and not solutions. Simba. So something happened to me recently, let me explain. I'm just wearing my hair differently for now, waiting to work up the guts to tell my mom that I'm trans. And the thing is that when I was out with her, someone working in the store called me sir. She gave them a nasty look and corrected them, but personally, I was super happy. Wherever you are, man/woman, in the end, people see what they want to see. Haha, that's really cool. For me, it's great when my colleagues make sure they say he when they talk about me. The way they're so careful is really touching. H says, so I came out to a childhood friend a while ago and she took it pretty well. She told me she had nothing against it, that it changed nothing, that we'd always be friends. And after that, she started to explain her point of view on trans people, like how gender is a social construct and a societal phenomenon. But for some reason, even 3 years later, she still calls me she. That kind of thing is so frustrating. I used to correct her all the time. I don't anymore, but I feel like it didn't sink in at all. Yeah, people like that who think they know everything can be really annoying. They're not so intelligent after all. To be honest, if it was just a social thing, I'm not sure if we'd even do all these things to change ourselves. It just shows to go that your friend doesn't really get it for her to say something like that. Simba, I'll keep this short. Today I had the pleasure of being used as a token by my best friend. He's one of those, look everyone, I've got a trans friend, I'm so tolerant types. Firstly, I don't necessarily want to announce to the world that I'm trans, and secondly, I just feel like saying, what? What? What was he thinking? The best bet is people nudging you all evening and saying how it must be so much easier for you to hit on people because you know both sides of the fence. Yeah, we're all pickup masters, that's for sure. That's also inaccurate. They are what they've experienced, and that's not a universal thing across any gender. This is getting way more serious than I intended it to be, but y'all are along for the ride. At least it's no, like, weird murderous girls like that one visual novel game I played with the girl who killed an entire thing as an AI. I sometimes get comments from friends, because I don't know how long they'll stay friends, that tell me not to hit on them because I'm trans. As if I'd jump on them or suddenly change my orientation just because I'm changing my gender. Tessie Star. OMG, did you hear about the fire at the LGBT center in Melrin? Uh-oh. That's where we are. That's where Sam is. Presumably that's where we are, too, if we found the phone, but who knows where we found the phone. What happened? Homophobic scum set it on fire. Oh, my God. Fortunately, I've just heard that no one was hurt, and how do you know it was about homophobes? I didn't see anything about it on the TV. Tell me about it. We all know the media only tell half the story. Would it kill them to use the words hate crime? Because I can guarantee that's what it is. The firemen have already found out that the fire was arson, and for the last 3 months we've been receiving threats in the mail saying that they'd set it on fire if we don't leave town. Wow. Wow, H says so. Wow, I knew Melbourne wasn't a particularly welcoming place for the LGBT community, but it's even worse than I thought. I take it from your message that you were a member of the center. Are you okay? Yes, I volunteer at the center a lot. I'm feeling down. H says, so you've given out quite a lot of personal information there that might help someone figure out who you are outside the forum. Normally that's against the forum rules. I don't want to hassle you, but I just want to make sure the forum members feel protected. Testy Star, don't worry. Everyone in Melrin knows me anyway, and seeing how they're trying to make us all shut up at the moment, I don't want to hide. I want to shout from the rooftops to fight for our rights. No one can silence me. And this is recent, because this is wow, this is recent, isn't it? Because that was the 9th of January. So it's like that's last month. Well said, H says so, and this is Sam thing, and thanks for everything you've done at the center. I hope you guys rebuild again real quick. I hope so too. Anyone that want to adopt me? I can't deal with my parents anymore. This is a few days before the thing. Pardon me. I'll adopt you, Sam. Thing what happened with your parents. Just a warning, it's a long story. You might want some popcorn. I keep burping. Sorry, guys. So I've got an older cousin whom I've never really known well because he disappeared when I was little, and it's been over 10 years since I heard anything from him. His brother and I were always told that he had run off to join a cult, so we never really tried to find out more. Last week, I found a wedding invitation in the mailbox from this exact cousin, and huge surprise, he's marrying another man. Called it. My older cousin, whom I haven't heard from for over a decade, is marrying another guy in my family, aka the most homophobic family in the world. They even said that it was a good thing that the LGBT center was burned down, so you can see what I mean. I talked about it with my other cousin, his little brother, and he told me that he found a wedding invitation in his dad's office, too. He got a hold of the contact info and called his big brother. Well, as it turns out, the whole cult story told to us by our parents was a complete lie. He never joined a cult. It was his parents who kicked him out the same day he came out to them, and they refused to speak to him ever again. Oh my god. I expected something like that for Eric. I just am heartbroken for him. Because again, while this is fictional, people have lived these lives. I'm sure I must have said something similar when I was playing Gone Home. I have stuff that I haven't talked to my family about much. And that's just because I'm not comfortable with sharing it. Because at this point it wouldn't affect me if they knew, because I live so far away from them anyway. But imagining living with having to not talk about it, like not choosing not to, which is what I've done, having to. Because the other option is losing all of them. Let's keep going, guys. I thought this would be lighthearted. Oh, that wasn't right, was it? That's awful. Wait, what? Why did he invite them to his wedding? I don't understand. Well, sometimes people change. It might have been an attempt by Sam Thing's cousin to reach out. It's a brave thing to do. Brave but useless. The invite ended in the garbage. The invite ended up in the garbage. Shitty parents. Anyway, I now know what's in store for me if I ever decide to come out. So this is after the book fair, so we don't know what that is. I wonder if we found Sam's phone while he was on his way to the wedding. Don't think that way, Sam. Think maybe your parents told you that because it's what your aunt and uncle told them. That's what I thought too. Then I talked with him about the invite. It ended up like this. So I saw an invite to cousin X's wedding. Parents, yes, what a disgrace. How dare he invite us to his cultist ceremony? But it's a wedding. What's wrong with that? No, he's not getting married. Marriage is between a man and a woman. What he's doing is an abomination. It's the cult of homosexuals. It's not exactly what they said, but you get the idea. Okay, your parents sound awesome. And then there's this thing again. Okay, we're going to stop there. That's going to mark the end of my turn. Let me cast the controller on back to you, and I'll A-B. See you next time. Bye-bye, guys.